Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee says the U.S. government has recovered UFOs, which are currently being reverse engineered. He joins us now, along with UFO expert and filmmaker Jeremy Corbell. And gentlemen, thank you both so much for coming on. Congressman, that's a major allegation. What do we know at this point?
Well, 1947, I think it's pretty clear there was a UFO crash or a mid-air collision, Roswell, New Mexico, military intelligence, which is a whole lot like congressional ethics. It really doesn't exist. But military intelligence comes out and says, we've in fact recovered a craft and a saucer. And then the next day they ring this poor lieutenant colonel out and say, oh, no, it was a hot air balloon. You know, we've got our top pilots in the world are some of our Navy and Air Force pilots. Yeah. And they are, in fact, spotting these things. I've talked to them. They're not allowed to testify in congressional hearings.
Our military pilots are spotting these, and we've seen this reported a lot, but they're not allowed to testify, you're saying?
That is correct. That is correct.
Wow.
We had one there at the Intelligence Committee that was open to the public. It was Democrat controlled. I don't expect much better from the Republicans. I think it goes a lot deeper.
And let me just,
got a lot of people compromised, brother.
Yeah, it's interesting. Jeremy, I want to talk to you for a second. The Pentagon's UFO chief, this is a Pentagon guy, a UFO chief, the chairman of Harvard's astronomy department as well, both releasing a report on Tuesday where they wrote an artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth. You've got the Pentagon talking about the idea of a mothership going above us and sending probes down.
Yeah, well, listen, let's get to the crux of the issue here. The UFO phenomenon, it's nothing new. This has been with us for a long time. Yep. The silver bullet would be if we have been exploiting these technologies through crash retrieval programs and that sort of thing. These programs, these exploitation programs, they do exist. So I would agree with the congressman here. And first of all, I'd like to thank you, by the way, for your advocacy on this UAP issue. And I would like to also encourage you, Congressman, with whatever power that you do have with your colleagues to do one thing in particular. Right now, we have the U.S. Senate Committee on Appropriations. They have jurisdiction over the spending. We have Senator Patty Murray. We have Senator Susan Collins, who are able to audit these special access programs, such as ones that are held, like you're talking about, at Lockheed Martin. So I would like to include in this investigation, which I ask of you, for example, Lieutenant General Dimitri Henry. You know, he is the current director for Intelligence Joint Staff J2. They have authority and management over the intelligence community, and they should be asking questions. If we do have UFO exploitation programs, right, I'm calling the silver bullet, they should be able to ask of Lockheed and other contractors, what are they working on that goes back to 1947 and the UFO topic. And I feel like you could be very effective.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I want to show, because we're close to running out of time, I want to show just something that you have, Jeremy. This is exclusively obtained photos that you have of images over Baghdad, Iraq, May of 2022. It's kind of hard for people to see what we're talking about. If we take the banner down, you'll be able to see it better there in the bottom right. There you go. What can you tell us about these pictures? I mean, to me, this doesn't look like anything. Why do you make something of this?
Yeah, because the Air Force classified this in a secret archive as UAP or UFO. We call it the Baghdad Phantom because that was part of the file name. This was filmed by the U.S. Air Force. Reaper drone footage. This is the first time the public gets to see what the Air Force classifies as UAP. And I think the congressman would also agree that this transparency to the American public, if it doesn't hurt national security, it's corroding. Yeah. This secrecy is corroding trust with the American public. So thank you for your work, both of you, for reporting on this.
Absolutely.
And that is what that is.
Congressman, real quick, I want to play Matt Gaetz from last night on Greg Kelly's show. Take a listen to this.
I have seen evidence of craft that I am not familiar with any of our allies or adversaries or even our country possessing. I've seen that craft taken by air crews who have gotten quite close to it. And we've got a lot more questions about why this information isn't more broadly available to the American people.
I mean, it's starting to sound like there's something being covered up.
Sure. I was with Matt. I know what he is referring to. And I will tell Jeremy, we've got to have hearings. We're going to have hearings. I talked to Speaker McCarthy. I talked to the chairman of the Oversight Committee. I'm on that Oversight Committee. That's where it's got to happen. We're going to have hearings. We're going to ask them tough questions.
I hope that you do.
Jeremy. Jeremy, get with me, brother. I want you there.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you both so much. I mean, you got the Pentagon talking about a mothership. It's astounding how much progress we're making on this thing. And thank you both so much for coming on. Good to see you guys.
Thank you, Rob, for covering this.
Thank you.
Of course.